Yeah, he was just like a really niche one because like I haven't listened to My Chemical Romance since I was like 15.
Because it's not about that. It's what it represents.
I'm like running for my life. I'm like, Gerard Way, what the fuck? I'm like, I never thought it would be you.
So your brain is basically saying, you're feeling it, girl, and you got to deal with it. We're coming after you until you do.
I'm going to just get like dark black eyeliner.
No, you're not.
Okay.
Nope.
Just black lipstick. Maybe
Buys
like a purple.
ticket to Austin right now. Kicks ass, comes home.
Thank you. What's up, gamers? Welcome back to Fossil and the Spawn.
Fossil, spawn. Spawning.
Respawning. I'm feeling very feminine today. I'm trying. I haven't worn a ponytail in a while, and so literally, if you just see me like sitting like this the whole time, it's because I'm feeling very feminine and dainty.
I had a really awful thought when you said that, and it's dark, though.
Okay.
Self-defense class, they always said that girls who had ponytails were more likely to get attacked because it gave the attacker something to grab onto.
Not with these guns.
Or these.
Can't stop me.
Oh, no.
Try it.
Yeah. I'll cut my hair off. Just carry a pair of scissors.
I kind of like my hair. But anyways, Welcome back, guys, to the 5th episode of Fossil and the Spawn. Well,
God,
season 2.
Thank you for coming back.
Thank you so much. It's been a wild couple of weeks. We're still working out the quirks, but we're happy to be back. We're happy that you're back. Or if you're new, welcome. And if you've left, fuck you. So anyways, no.
Please come back. We love you.
That is your prerogative. This is a free country if you choose not to listen to us.
Is it?
Okay. We're gonna run that shit back.
No political
Turbo.
statements.
We're gonna pretend that didn't happen. Yeah, I've had a wild couple of weeks, guys. Like, work has been really, really busy, and I've noticed that on the weekends, I've just been going horde. Now, if you know me IRL, little gamer girl moment, am I right, guys? No, I'm joking. If you know me in real life, then you know that I just sit in my house and rot like a little sewer rat. But these past couple of weekends, I've been going out consecutively, and I've been having a lot of fun, but I'm also like a little nervous because I like don't really drink. I've never done drugs. I socially drink like when it's not that I don't drink, it's that I don't do it often. But I've done it consecutively for 3 weekends in a row, and I'm like, what's going on there? Is this a problem? But I'm having a lot of fun.
Well, why are you asking, is it a problem? It's only a problem if it is a problem to you.
It's poison to your body.
Okay. So, well, that's a whole different issue. But the exciting thing is, what I heard was the word habit. Right? Is this a habit? Now, I'll tell you why. Guys, you're going to get sick of me talking about this. January hit and bam, I got my life going. And not that it just started off easy. But can I tell you a story? Here, my woo-woo story.
No, because
this is my woo-woo story.
We have a podcast and you're not allowed to share your fucking stories.
Okay.
You had to ask permission.
So here's what happened to me. I had made a goal and objectives for January for the rest of the year. And I was so excited to do it. But like the first day of January kind of fell apart on me. And I said, okay, I know, I'm just going to keep going. So there was a day where I said, okay, by 9 o'clock, butts in chair, hands on keyboard, I'm editing. I'm writing my Nano story, right? I'm editing. I'm going to have this book out by this coming Christmas. So 9 o'clock, I was sitting there ready. So let me just skip forward to 12:30 around lunchtime. Not one word edited. Not one word. I was so frustrated, feeling like a failure, angry at myself, going, what the fuck just happened? what happened to my day. Then I sat down and I did my breath like, okay, spirit, connect. Tell me what to do here because I'm getting mad, right? Everything feels like it was getting blown out of the water. And I heard, go read. And I got this flash of a picture in my head of a book that I have had for years but never read called Save the Cat Writes a Novel. Now, that's a very famous book for anybody who writes. They've either already read it, and I hadn't. So I saw this picture in my head of go find it. I searched my office, found the shelf where my writing books are. That's not the book that stood out. Right next to it was a book called Writer's Block by Roseanne Bain. And I'm like, when did I buy that? I don't even remember buying it. Got goosebumps, guys. I mean, this was like one of those moments where I cannot explain it, why this happened. I do not even remember buying this book. I opened it up and read the first page and was like, oh my God, she's talking to me. I instantly identified. So I got quiet and I sat down and I just fell into this book that helped me see not only what happened to my day, procrastination, when you don't even realize you're doing it, right? You pick up your phone, you got to look at your phone. Oh, what was that noise? Oh, the dogs need to go out. You've allowed everything to happen, but it explains why we allow these blocks to go through, why we're interrupted. So this is a topic now that I'm so excited about. I've read 2 other books about neuroscience, okay? When we say habit, going back to your discussion of, is it a problem that you are starting to go out every weekend? The answer is no, if you are having fun. Because the 3 main things about habits in this particular book is that there is something called process that you do for fun. You have no intention other than joy. 2, product time, but you only set your timer for 15 minutes because everyone, even new moms, have 15 minutes. If you go over that in your product time, great. And then the 3rd thing is self-care. And we've talked this ad nauseum: sleep, diet, exercise, the 3 basics. So with these 3 habits, you can say going out and having some drinks is your process, because the neuroscience of it, did you guys just fall asleep on me? Here, you look at your body like a bus and your brain is all these parts.
First of all, I'm a nice little Corvette, okay?
Okay.
Let's simmer down.
All right, Corvette.
Calling me
Let's
a
go.
fucking bus.
You want to be a freaking Lamborghini. I don't give a shit what you want to call your vehicle, but the brain is all the drivers. There's a whole group of drivers that want control.
Wait, a bus only needs like one driver. I'm not
correct. But let me tell you who that bus driver is right now for most people. We've heard the word stress, anxiety, burnout, depression, all of these things. Forget where your stress, anxiety, and burnout is coming from in your depression. The point is your limbic system is driving that vehicle. All right? Your limbic system. Until you do process that fun playtime, allow yourself to do it for no other reason than I like coloring in a book. I like using Play-Doh. I want to sit and pick hair out of my navel. It doesn't matter what is enjoyable to you, where you allow your brain to go into a rote, normal thing that's just, you don't even have to think about it. You're just having fun. Those are the times where you're going to have your aha moments, because now the cortex goes, my turn to drive. The cortex is where we figure things out. We put puzzles together. We are creative. We have aha moments, which is why most people, they say, when I had a problem, I had to write a paper, I had to do something, it hits me when I was in the shower or I was driving, right? You're doing something rote. You're doing something that's routine. So then the cortex can step in and say, my turn to drive, baby. And that's where you get creative and you start to solve problems. Back to,
wait.
Actually can say that drinking, or not drinking, let's be clear, going out with your friends and relaxing is part of your process. Your fun time.
I mean, I definitely come up with my best ideas when I'm plastered on the dance floor of a dirty bar screaming Pitbull at 2 a.m. Like, that's definitely where I'm like in the zone, coming up with the next best thing.
Well, let's talk about the idea of chemically. Alcohol does relax us and gets us inhibited, which is why a lot of writers do drink. But the problem where it becomes a bad habit is because it is now your trigger to write. And that is the problem. So you need to change it to something better. You need to change that habit to when I sit down, I'm going to smell vanilla, or I'm going to have a cup of coffee. And, you make a ritual or a habit out of it will really dig that habit in, that good habit. But the good news is the neuroplasticity of our brains means that we can overcome anything. And like I said, I could get so excited about this because I keep reading books now about it, like people who have had brain damage to the point where they lost their sight. Another part of the brain said, let me drive. It's going to be harder to train me. Yes, I know it's going to take you maybe a year or 2 or 3, but I can help you. So all the parts of the brain are all these drivers that want to take control of the vehicle. So we get to decide, but we don't know that. We're thinking and feeling and we're doing. I'm just so excited about this because it was like finding gold, right? Now I get it. I get why I allowed my phone, hear that little chirp. The phone, by the way, may I say, people are going to hate me for saying this.
She's about to go boomer on us. I know it.
I'm not going boomer.
No,
this
she's going boomer mode.
Scientifically proven. Our screens, our computers, and our phones are the new cigarettes.
Then call me a chain smoker, baby.
No, they are supposed to be. They're good things, though. They're good things. They're tools. Right? Cigarettes used to be promoted by doctors. 4 out of 5 doctors smoked Marlboro or Camel or whatever it was at the time. Why? Because it was a relaxing thing to do, right? But what happens is people can't have a cigarette. They have a pack of cigarettes. And this is the same thing with habits, and it's the same thing with what we do in routine. That's why habits are so important, good ones. But the good habits are the only thing that will get rid of the bad habits, and it's acknowledging them. I'm just so excited that there's a way out of anything. Woo-woo side of my brain goes, yeah, because you can call it, put any label on it you want. You can call it a miracle. You can call it whatever. We have the ability to do anything.
Well, lucky for me, 9 out of 10 bitches, bad bitches, scroll on TikTok for 4 hours a day in their bed. So...
And that is how we have problems. That is where you start to develop the problem.
Nope.
Okay, we can argue this all day long. I will bring with me facts next time and charts. I will bring charts. How the phone is killing us.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
Comparison, depression, bad news. You're literally filling your mind with other people's junk.
I'm here for a good time, not a long time. Let's get that clear.
TikTok, again, it should be... it could be part of your process. I will allow 15 minutes on TikTok.
15 minutes? No, we need to unpack this. Mom's like, you can have enjoyment for 15 minutes. Girl, there's no way I'm going to the club taking 4 shots and busting it back for 5 minutes, girl. Like, I can't even get the Uber in 15 minutes.
Let me go back to the idea of habit, though.
Okay.
The point is, you want to spend 4 hours at the club. You best not be doing it more than once a month.
Okay.
Because now you will make it a habit. That event is in your brain now, and it's starting to make wires that we only have fun when we drink. And then the next time, I can only have fun when I drink. Then the next time is I can only have fun if I have 6 beers. I can only have fun if I have 9 beers. Can have fun if I'm blacking out drunk. That's what happens. That's the point.
Well, I think that's where my problem comes in because, I don't really think like that. It could change if I continue this habit, but, I don't have that feeling where it's I need to drink in order to have fun, right? But it's something where it's I've done it for the past 3 weeks, and we did have fun. But I think for me, it's more so that, I haven't been getting enough, social interactions, and I've been, isolating myself. And so that was the form of me fulfilling that, social need. But it wasn't really about the drinking or the club. I could have cared less if we had, actually went out. But it was the act of, going and seeing friends that I enjoyed to be around. We could have stayed in and watched a movie.
So okay, so let me ask you this now. What would help? And I want to hear this from you too. And this is kind of hard for us, especially all of us you work really hard. You're doing things that the world needs you to do to make money or to live. What brings you joy? What do you like doing that even if you wouldn't tell anybody else? Like, I really like to make Play-Doh dolls. I mean, whatever it is for you, what is it? Can you name one thing that you enjoy so much?
You know what my favorite thing in the world is? And this is really bad. I love buying a fucking latte from a coffee shop. The feeling that I get when I walk into a coffee shop and just smell that smell, and I walk in there and I slap my fucking $8 down for that 16-ounce oat milk latte. Just the feeling that I get.
Do you realize that has been created? That is an actual part of
it's a bad
neuroscience.
Habit.
No, it isn't.
Yes,
No. You can use this in your favor. Now, if you're saying it's a bad habit because you can't afford the $8,
yeah,
okay. But
why the fuck does a coffee cost $8 fucking that I'm gonna glop glop in like 2 seconds? Why is it so expensive?
You're digressing. That's a whole other issue. Okay. But to go back to how the brain works, you smelled that coffee. There's some point in your life where you had an extremely good moment, an extremely pleasant experience, and it had to do with the smell of coffee. Me too, by the way. Coffee is my trigger.
Well, I mean, it's also literally a drug. It's caffeine.
But on top of that, if you say, and you're telling yourself this, I walk into a coffee shop, I feel really good. The smells, all of those triggers, all of those things in your brain say, this is great. Now, if you were, in my case, let's say you were trying to write something or edit, you would put yourself in that position that you're in the coffee shop. This is my writing time. And this is the time I'm blocking off, phone face down, phone on, do not disturb for this amount of time. Put your timer on, say, this is my focus time. And that's what this book is starting to get me to understand, is that we're not saying don't look at your phone. We're saying you are not a brain surgeon or an emergency room person. There is no need for you not to have your phone face down, undisturbed for that focus time. And she's, the explanation that anybody doing anything for 15 minutes a day will have big things at the end of the year accomplished, as opposed to I'll get to it when, and then never doing anything and saying, oh, I meant to do it, but just never got around to it. Because there's always going to be somebody that needs your time. There's always going to be someone that wants you.
Everyone needs my time.
I bet everybody that just heard you say that went, me too, girl, me too. Yeah. It's just, I love it. I'm so jacked up on this topic right now because it's like, thank you, brain. You know how I am. We've all talked about it before, that my big thing is feeling stupid. But now I'm like, thank you, brain. You're not stupid. You're trying to help me. I just didn't understand what you were saying to me.
How does that work? Because, okay, so let's stay on my example, just because it's the only one I really have right now. But choosing to go out affects the next day. You know what I mean? Because you stay out, or that means I can't go to Pilates the next day, which we know I go to Pilates 6 days a week, right? So now I can't do that. So it's throwing off my normal routine, but it's this is something that makes me happy, whereas the other thing feels like a have to. And it's what's also annoying, and I don't know, you've definitely experienced it. I'm sure everyone's experienced this, where something starts out as a hobby and then it turns into a have to. That happens to me all the time. She
discusses that in this book too.
Yeah.
And it's because you lose your joy. That's where process is important. It's doing that thing for no reason other than to just be, because the world is always going to give you a have to.
Yeah.
But that fun thing, the only way to keep it fun is by allowing yourself, and I'm going to say it in your case, I'm going out once a month. I'm going out with my friends regardless. Now, I'm either going to understand that the next day I'm going to feel off, which now is, as an adult, if you know that you're drinking past a certain amount, 3 drinks is my limit, I don't feel like shit the next day. If it's 2, that's on you. Now, you can either choose to say, once a month, I'm not going to Pilates the next day, and just take that pressure off yourself. And now it's fun again.
I don't know.
Because you're not feeling like you're failing because you failed to go to Pilates, but you're saying, I knew I wasn't going to go. Pressure's off.
See, I don't know if that's true, though.
It is true.
I disagree. Because I'd still be like, oh, I missed that thing that I was supposed to do.
Well, it's making yourself aware that you are allowed not to do it.
Well, I mean, I'm well aware. I'm well aware I'm allowed not to do it. That's why I didn't go.
You aren't. I love you, but your mouth says things that you actually don't mean. Okay. You say you know that. You don't.
Sorry. Goddamn.
Lies.
She said, bah, 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 bah.
Lies. You need to give yourself permission. And I love those words because I needed to hear the words, give yourself permission not to do something. That's important.
Yeah.
You're not responsible for the world. You deserve playtime. I believe you said in another episode, a friend of yours had said to you, why can't you just play this game and enjoy it because you have so much else to do, right? And you're like, I should be doing something else. That is where big red circle around that behavior is where your habit is. If I don't do this, right? This is how you've wired neurons firing. The myelin is wrapping and you're going, I am nothing if I don't do all of these things. For you, it is imperative, Emily Grace, to have fun.
She said it is imperative, stop. Luke Skywalker.
You're working yourself into a permanent, no. See, that word permanent is no longer neuroplasticity, baby. You're working yourself into those people that they turn into their 40s and they're nervous messes.
Yeah.
Because they don't know who they are. All they know is work. This is my identity. Oh my God, this is my job. This is who I am. And that's not who you are. So your habit is starting to build in that direction. And I'm concerned about it, which is I'm outing you here on the pod.
And that's fair. A couple things. The first thing I'll say, I find it interesting that you say, and you don't know yourself. Because that's like a theme I've been seeing a lot on social media lately. A lot of people being like, I don't even know who I am anymore. And like specifically they say it's usually people who are saying it where they just got out of a really long-term relationship and they're like, oh, I was so attached to that other person, like my personality became theirs. And I personally feel like I don't have that problem. I feel like I have a really good sense of like who I am and what I want, but I'm just like so obsessive over wanting to be successful that I like overcompensate that need rather than like just chilling the fuck out, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and do you understand that's a self-trust issue? If you knew in your heart you're going to make it, oh, I'm going to make it, baby, I'm going to make it, nothing's getting in my way, then you have a space to say, I can take time off.
See, but I feel like I do feel that way, but I also am cognizant of the fact that if I want to reach that, there's a lot of things that you have to do in order to get there.
You're never going to get there if you burn out before you hit that stage, though. That's the point.
Yeah.
That's the point of all of this. She has story after story that will tell you of people that just exactly that. They knew they were willing to sacrifice, but all it did was damage. And all you're doing is damaging how your brain processes, allowing yourself to relax. You can either take care of this now or you can take care of it when it becomes a problem.
So how does it work with like, and I don't know if you have the answer to this, but how does it work when there's something that used to be a love of yours and it slowly become a have to? Like I've had that with like, let's say working out. I used to really, really enjoy working out. Like, you know that. I used to weightlift like 6 days a week. Like I used to go to the gym 2.5 hours a day. And then it became an obsession where like I literally hated it and I hated my body and I hated going. And then even now I moved to Pilates and I really, really like Pilates, like so much more than I liked weightlifting, even though I really enjoyed weightlifting. It's just a lot easier on the body, whatever. But now it's becoming this thing where it's like I have to now. And I've just sort of changed the habit of weightlifting to Pilates. And I liked both of them, but now it's becoming a thing that if I don't do it, I feel bad about myself. And then Mandarin is the same way, where it's like when I first started Mandarin, I was doing that as like a way to try something really, really difficult and challenge myself, but something new, something fun. And I love learning new languages. It's really cool to me. But now it's becoming a thing where I'm like, oh my God, if I'm not like super, super prepared for my lesson, which I never am because I've lost the want to study, that I feel like I failed. And so it's like, how do I get the love for all of those things? Because all of those are like good things that I used to genuinely enjoy. And I don't anymore.
Okay. Two things happened in my brain. One is the coaching side of me, and the second is what the book actually says, since we're talking about this.
Let's start with the book.
The book. Okay, so in my case, I had a trilogy I was writing a few years ago, and I did so much research and went so on it, and I had it all plotted out in the characters, and then I tried to start really, I'm going to do this, and then slowly I hated it. And to the point where I'm like, I can't stand it. I don't even want to look at this anymore. Now, the way she explains it, you get to, there are 5 or 6 stages, and forgive me because I haven't memorized this part, but there's a chart. And there's an actual stage where when you get to the part, it's called oversaturation. Okay, so at the point in which you've done it so seriously that you actually need a break from it, go do something else. And here's why. The brain needs that limbic system to be put down, and it needs the cortex to come in, so that's how it starts remembering again, to be free to have memory, to be able to, you're reorganizing in there. All right. So if you don't have that quiet time, like sleep, right, is when our brain clears itself out, right? This is why sleep is so important. 2 things are the problem here is that you need to give yourself time to back away from it. You personally have overscheduled, just like what I did, in where you have so many projects that you want to do that you're trying to get them all in, and your brain's going, I can't keep going like this. And then you take sleep away. And now it's like, it doesn't matter what you're going to put in here. It's like a sieve. We've got holes. It's just going to fall back out until you give yourself the time, the space, and the calm to process. You actually need time between what you learned, not thinking about it, because in the background, your subconscious is working on it. Mm-hmm. It's still working on it. Even if you're not sitting there with Chinese in front of you and you're not looking at your lesson, it's still working in the back of your brain.
But my problem is, it's like something that I'm noticing is like time is moving so fast. I don't know if anyone else feels this way, but like someone will give me something to do. They'll be like, oh, we should do this, for example. And I'll be like, yeah, let's do it next weekend. All of a sudden, it's been like a month, and I haven't even like thought about that thing. And then I'm like, oh, we were gonna do that thing. And it's just like, it doesn't feel like it's been a month. It feels like it's been like 4 fucking days. And
that's how you know you're oversaturated and overwhelmed and overscheduled.
Yeah, because it's like also for like Mandarin, for example, it was Chinese New Year, so like I didn't have a lesson because, most of China like shuts down, right? And so we didn't do a lesson because my teacher was traveling, and I had 2 weeks where I didn't talk to her, and that should be enough time to not think about Chinese. And now I have a lesson today, and I'm like, I didn't study enough for this.
Well, that's because other things took precedence. It's anytime we make something important, right? This is exactly what it is to be an adult, is to know what you will make priority. And when you get that empty space, something's going to fill it. So if you said, I've been meaning to do that class, or I've been meaning to write that book, or I've been meaning to see this person, that's just not important until you decide it's important.
Yeah. Something
else is always going to fill that little gap. So it's up to us to say where our filter is. And a lot of us don't, when you say be kind to yourself, those words sound so woo-woo, but what it really means is, can you just take a breath and give yourself a minute to not think, so that things that are important come up, so that you can say, okay, I see what I need to do. We call it meditation, But you don't have to call it meditation. You can call it, I'm going to sit still for 5 minutes just so I can see what it is I'm supposed to be doing. Mm-hmm. Allow that feeling to come up. Allow that thing that's important to actually surface, because that's how we forget. We're so inundated with so much stuff. The words daydream came up in the book too, which we a lot of times look down on daydreaming as nonsensical or childish. Do you know how important it is to daydream?
I used to love daydreaming.
Super important. Actually, super important to daydream. It helps you figure out what you really want. It lifts your spirits. It helps you just relax because it puts you in things that you want to think about.
Okay, so now that you brought up daydreaming, I actually had something I meant to ask you, not while we were recording, but now that I have you, I'm going to do it in front of everyone. So I think I've said this on the podcast before, so I'm sorry if I'm a broken record, but like I don't dream usually, and when I do dream, I always lucid dream because I think I just don't sleep enough and I've fucked up.
And there's actually words for that, the theta brain, beta brain, all those
don't
waves.
Don't fucking call me a beta.
I'm telling you.
You bum-ass bitch.
You know what you just admitted? It means you don't get into the right level of sleep.
She said, you're a bot, you're a beta, I'm sigma. That's so rude.
No, did not say that, but
anyways,
you just outed yourself on not sleeping again.
Me and my beta brain had a dream the other night that I wanted to run by you because I don't dream. So when I do dream, I'm like, oh, that might be significant. And especially when they're bad dreams, I like obviously take note of them. So I had a dream the other night, and obviously I'm going to forget a lot of the details, but I was just like going about my life, and I think I went to the grocery store. It might have been by myself. It might have been with like a friend that like actually wasn't a friend in real life. Just like a dream friend. And this guy like started shooting up the building. And so we left. We like dipped out. And then this guy was like going around to multiple places and like shooting up places. And so then the next time we like went to a different place and he was there and he was like, gotcha bitches. And then we were like, no. And then we escaped that one, right? But like a lot of people were dying. But we escaped both of like the mass shootings. But then I guess he like realized like I was at both of those events and like didn't die. So he like made it his vendetta, his goal, his mission to find me and kill me. And then so we were like in this house that like is a house I've probably seen before, but I don't have any relation to this house. It was like a 1-story like townhome, but it was like very clearly my house. And the whole dream was like him trying to kill me. And it was weird. And he looked like Gerard Way from My Chemical Romance. Just a little tidbit. I like Gerard Way, so I'm sorry. I don't know why you looked like the killer, but you did.
This is actually all right. This is actually cool. So let me walk you through how we dream interpret. First of all, I'm going to ask you, very importantly, you can joke all you want, but if you really want the meaning of this dream and what's happening,
I don't
in
remember
your brain,
a lot of the details.
You don't need to. You've already told me enough.
Okay.
Gerard, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
When you think of him, now honestly, when you think of him, what emotion does he bring up? What quality about him? What stands out to you when you think of him? What stands out?
Okay, so it's just for some context, Mom, because I know you don't get that reference. He's the lead singer of a band called My Chemical Romance, and it's like...
What do you think of him? That's the important question.
Okay.
What does he mean to you?
I guess
what does he represent
like
to
a
you?
Troubled soul, a little bit, because that's what the music is like.
Okay.
What? Our producer is laughing so hard right now. Owen!
We love Owen.
Don't make fun of me!
Oh my God, we're gonna put you on this pod. I swear to God, you guys are gonna have to meet Owen at some point. Okay, so here's the thing. So because you have an actual individual in here twice, okay, the first, the Gerard guy, is he represents for you a troubled soul. Now, the fact that you even had a house in this dream says, girl, it's you. We're
All right.
talking to you. We're talking to
Simmer
what
down.
you think of. Oh, okay.
I'm
simmer
Gerard
down.
Way.
Sit down and listen. Sit down and listen, baby girl. Sit down and listen. When you dreamt of the grocery stores
It was Stop and Shop, Mom. It was our Stop and Shop.
That's great. It doesn't matter where it is. It represents good things being sustained for a short amount of time. You think food, sustenance, sustaining. Okay. So grocery store, you're looking for some, like you were talking about going out having fun for a short amount of time. Sustaining the joy of that, something short term being good. Okay. So keep that snapshot. Something good is what you're looking for. You had a friend with you, and friends are the qualities we want to see in ourselves.
Oh.
Friends or a partner, or if you dream of a husband or a wife. Or,
She was so insignificant. I don't even remember that bitch.
Oh, I'm going to call you out here, and your
I'm
humor.
like, I want to be insignificant.
No, it means you're feeling insignificant.
Okay, calm down.
You wanted to know what this dream meant. I'm analyzing it. I'm analyzing it. You can laugh all you want. So you're looking for good things. You're feeling insignificant. You're looking at this one-story house. You're like, I am here. I'm not even up here. Yeah. I'm not on 2 or 3. I'm on the baseline, baby. You're feeling low.
I remember, because like even though this motherfucker was trying to kill me, I was like, damn, this is a 1-story house with like windows and there's no stairs. I remember that in the dream. Like he's like running around trying to kill me, and I was like,
you couldn't avoid
we could
it.
Get some artwork up in here.
You couldn't avoid it. And you know what the shooter stands for?
Sorry.
That nagging feeling, that nagging possibility of always making a bad choice, shooting you down, shooting yourself down, coming after you. He was following you. You're worried you're making bad choices. You're worried that you're not able to do what you need to do. You're worried that you can't sustain happiness for a long time. That's what your brain just told you.
Period. Read me like a book. No? Okay.
Is it? If you want to do dream sequences and you don't think that that's accurate of what actually happened in your mind.
No. I mean, it probably is. Like, I mean, we've discussed this off the pod about my longing to find happiness again. So that's probably accurate. It's probably accurate.
Accurate.
Yeah.
So yeah, that Gerard guy is you
I'm
feeling
on to
trouble.
you, buddy.
Yeah, well, you identified. That's why he popped in. Anytime anybody pops into your dream that's famous, it's what they represent to you. I have 5 actors that show up in my dreams, and I know exactly what they mean and what I have to deal with whenever any of them come around.
Yeah, he was just like a really niche one because like I haven't listened to My Chemical Romance since I was like 15.
Because it's not about that. It's what it represents.
I'm like running for my life. I'm like, Gerard Way, what the fuck? I'm like, I never thought it would be you.
So your brain is basically saying, you're feeling it, girl, and you got to deal with it. We're coming after you until you do.
I'm going to just get like dark black eyeliner.
No, you're not.
Okay.
Nope.
Just black lipstick. Maybe like a purple.
Ticket to Austin right now. Kicks ass, comes home.
Thank you. So I guess to lighten the mood a little bit, another funny story that happened was I had to go over to my place of employment. And there's a lady, we have like a maid that has to come, and my job, part of my job, not my sole job. Imagine if my only job was to make sure that she showed up on Thursdays. Imagine if that's like the only thing I did.
I'm the keeper of the maid service.
Yeah, that is my title. But yeah, so she comes on Thursdays, and I've never met her in person before. Okay?
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I had never met her in person before. I'd never needed to, you know? So, because, like, usually when she comes, like, no one's there, or, like, it's just my boss. So, I never interacted with her, but I talked to her a lot, like, over the phone, over text. Anyway, so I knew that I had to go over there between a very specific time period, and I knew that she was going to be there. So I was like, oh, this is weird. Like, I've been speaking to this person for over a year, and I've never met her, right? So I walk in, and she sees me, and she goes, oh. And I was like, hey, like, it's so great to meet you. You know, like, we've spoken so many times. And she goes, you don't look like an Emily. And I had one of those moments where I was like, I am blonde. I am pale. I am the most stereotypical Emily that has ever Emily'd on this earth. And this girl looks at me and she goes, you don't look like an Emily. And
What did she think you looked like?
Well, so that was my next response, because I was caught off guard by that. Because I was like,
right.
The math is not mathing currently. Like, I am from Connecticut, blonde, pale. And she was like, and so I was like, oh, like, what did you think I was going to look like? Or like, what do you think my name would have been in this current meat suit? And she was like, I don't know, but not Emily. And she was like adamant about it. I was like, shots fired. You know what I mean? Like, right off the bat.
Well, what did she look like?
I mean, short, tan.
Brenda. She looked like a Brenda.
I mean, I'm not going to say her actual name.
No.
You're like, out her
no.
social
No,
security
I'm not
number.
saying out her. We're not doxing anybody today.
No, I mean, she's like in her 40s, I would guess. But I just thought it was really funny because she was like, you don't look like an Emily. And then I was like, so what do I look like? And she was like, I don't know, but not an Emily. And it was one of those moments where I was like, am I being tricked right now? Like, am I a punked? Because, like, I definitely look like an Emily. And then I was, like, trying to put it together, and I was like, oh, I mean, like, to be honest, I don't really think my name fits me, like, my personality very well. You know what I mean? Like, I do wish my name was something else. But then she was just like, yeah.
Golly.
And, like, that was our only interaction. And then I just had one of those moments I was like, all right. Bye. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't know what to do after that.
Thanks for nothing.
But yeah, so.
I have one funny story from this week if anybody wants to hear it.
Sure.
At least I thought it was funny. So, you know, I've told you guys that Mikey is doing basketball with his group of FAVAR people, which is all people with special needs, and they're all adults. And a lot of them live on their own in a complex here. And they have a couple of leaders that take them out and about and keep them active in the community. It's absolutely wonderful program. But anyway, so Mike joins them for basketball, and they decided they were going to have dinner at Friendly's the other night. So they literally put them all in one room, which was great. And they had a couple of wonderful waitresses. Pretty much they basically gave them, because it's a lot of energy, young adults people, that are a lot of energy, right? And they're not being bad, but they can be boisterous. So anyway, there's this one young man who is very vocal. I mean, you hear him before you come in near the room, and he's always a good sense of entertainment. So he was having discussions about the bill. The bills came, and he was looking at it, and he was talking to one of the leaders. And the leader said, "Are you okay over there?" And he said, "Yes." And the leader said, "Do you need help with the bill? How much is it?" And he says, $16.94. And the leader said, "Okay. Do you need to borrow money?" He said, "Yes." He said, "How much do you need?" He said, $16. It just hit me just right. It's like this kid, this guy, he was playing. I just think he was playing him.
He's like, a hustler.
"I need to borrow some money." "Yes." "How much do you need?" $16.90. The bill's $16.94, and you need $16. Oh.
Well, now my question is, did he leave her a tip?
They were talking about that afterwards, but that wasn't quite as funny. But somebody else said, "Oh, you're not going to leave the young lady a tip? She worked really hard for you." He goes, "Yeah, give her $5 to the other guy." These guys are amazing. It's silly. Yeah, get like you. Go ahead, give her $5.
That's so funny.
They are a group of treasures. Now, before we close out for this week, I would like everyone to join me in a challenge, please. I'm begging you. Just try it. I'm asking you to try it because our technology is starting to affect us negatively. For 5 minutes a day, I'm asking you for 5 to put your phone on Do Not Disturb, put it face down, and go do something else, anything else. And if you cannot do it for 5 minutes, you've just shown that you have an addiction to your phone, a serious one. 5 minutes. You should be able to work that up to at least an hour a day for mental health. And I'm begging you all to do that. Just try. 5 minutes a day, guys. 5 minutes. Face down, away, and even in another room. Try it.
In the arms of an angel. Foss will be like, for just 5 minutes a day.
For just 5 minutes a day. Join me in not being stressed out, anxious, and feeling depressed.
Wow.
Tell social media to fuck off because we want our lives back.
Call 1-800-LICK-MY-BALLS. No? All right. And on that note, we're going to wrap up this week's episode.
You can lick balls if it makes you happy. That could be your process.
My mother,
Your
everyone.
new habit. Yeah. Oh, be your mom. Your mom.
Your mom. Your mom.
Your mom. Owen's mom.
Hey,
My mom.
don't bring
She's
her
dead now.
into this.
She's dead now.
Oh.
All right, enough of that. We love you. Have a great week.
Bye.
Bye.